Hey everyone, my name's Sam. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is part 7 of my 7-part video series of my trip down to Costa Rica where I went to Rythmia Life Advancement Center. In my previous videos, I talked about my experience leading up to the time before I went to Rythmia, my 4 ayahuasca experiences, and I also talked about the breathwork ceremonies that I did while down there. So this 7th video will actually be discussing my life after Rythmia. So I'm just going to get right into it. I've been uh, done with the experience now for almost 2 weeks, so not a lot of time has passed, but enough time has passed where I've been away from my time in Costa Rica and I've gotten to experience quite a bit. And so I just kind of want to give you an update about the things that I was kind of carrying into ceremony and my thoughts now that I've gone through the whole experience. And so if you kind of remember, I was dealing with depression and anxiety, social anxiety. I was grieving. I of losses of my dad and grandmother and a breakup and moving and loss of job. And so just again, it was kind of when I was talking, all the things were just kind of collapsing. And that's a lot to go through, a lot of change and a lot to process. And so I'm just so grateful for my experience at Rythmia and everything that they were able to provide me, because it was like the space that I created through all of these things kind of leaving me opened up this new space for all this wonderful, amazing new things to come in and come through me that I've talked about in all my previous videos. And so so how do I feel now? I mean, the biggest thing they talk about is 50% of the work is done while you're there at Rythmia, and then the other 50% is the integration after the experience. So right now I'm kind of in the phase of where I'm trying to integrate everything that happened and now trying to bring it into my life. So so it's definitely a process. It's still a lot of work, and it's not one of those things where it's like you go and drink this medicine and you're completely healed and everything's changed and you don't have to do anything. It's not, that doesn't exist. That's never going to exist. There's always going to have to be work on your end. And so that's what I've done. And luckily I've built a lot of spiritual practices and things that I've incorporated before going down to Rythmia. And so now I can take the experience that I had and integrate it with my practices that I had already developed and also build upon them. So for me, I follow a specific diet. I eat plant based, and that helps me stay in tune spiritually. I meditate every morning. I do yoga, and I read lots of kind of spiritual, personal development type of books. And I try not to watch too much television. I don't drink alcohol. I don't even drink coffee. so so there's a lot of different things that I've kind of built going into the experience that I've kept with me, and now I've been able to add things into my practice like breath work. So now even before I meditate in the morning, I actually do breath work for 5 minutes and kind of get myself back into that state in that way. And that's been really helpful. And I think one of the most transformative things that has happened for me is I've had a lot of difficult conversations that I've been wanting to have with my family and with other people. And that's really healing and transformative in itself, because there's a lot of things that I haven't been able to open up to about people in the past, and being able to be myself and share my experiences and to be open in that way with family and friends has been huge for me. And I'm so thankful that after going through my time at Rythmia and finding and choosing love, and now I'm able to speak from a place of love and able to share my story from a place of love. And it's just so healing to be able to speak your truth and just to embody who you truly are. It's really powerful. And so it's like all these things that I was worried about, like the social anxiety and the depression, it's like that's just gone. Like seriously, like that is just gone. I left that in Costa Rica is no longer with me, and it's not to say that times won't be challenging, and again, it's only been 2 weeks, so who knows how I'll be feeling in a few months. But it's like, as long as I continue to do the work, as long as I continue to develop these practices and set myself up for success, I have no doubts that this is going to stay with me, that I'm going to be in this place of these higher states of emotion, of gratitude and joy and abundance. So yeah, I as I kind of mentioned, I got everything that I had come to Rhythmia for, and I knew that, and I knew that that's that's why I went down there. That was my intention. And there's something very powerful when you set an intention and do the work that it takes to make that intention manifest. So yeah, I'm just really living my life with more purpose now, with more fulfillment, and I'm able to experience some really cool things since I've come back from Rhythmia, and I've got to spend time with my family the last few weeks, and do some really healing things with them, and so I'm just overall really thankful. And I'm actually, this is kind of an in between into what my next adventure is. So after this, I'm going to be going to this wonderful place called Yogaville. Surprisingly, there's actually a place in the world that exists that is called this. You'd think it wasn't a real place, but it is. And so I'm going to be driving from here, where I am in Maine, down to Yogaville, and I'm going to be even further integrating my experience from Costa Rica, because one of the wonderful things that I loved at my time down there was the yoga that we did every morning, and we did meditation practices and the breath work, and it all ties in, and I spoke to this wonderful yoga instructor down there named Gula, who also helped out in the plant medicine ceremonies. And she said, all this yoga, it's all the same thing, it's all the same path, it's all leading to the same destination. And so now it's like, yeah, it would be awesome to live in Costa Rica and at Rhythmia the rest of my life, and who knows, maybe that will be my path one day. Maybe I'll end up working there, who knows. But I mean, I definitely plan on going back and going through another week of ceremonies and that kind of thing. And so I'll definitely return. But it's like, you can't just, if you're not working there, you can't just live in this perpetual state. You have to come back to reality. And so what I've decided with my reality, now that I've left my job and moved out of the state that I was in and got out of relationships that I was in, and now I can kind of more consciously co-create with the universe the life that I actually want to live, that I'm not feeling like I've been pressured and had expectations for this life that was presented in front of me, where it was, go to college, get good grades, get a good job, get married, have children, blah blah blah, this kind of path that's laid before us. And it was like, okay, yeah, maybe to some extent it will line up in my future in a certain way, but the way I was going about it, it wasn't for me, and I wasn't fulfilled. And so now that leads me to my next journey, and so I'll be in this wonderful place, kind of doing this. I kind of it's kind of like to call it another retreat in a sense. For the start, it's going to be 30 days, and I'll be waking up and meditating for even longer, and I'll be practicing yoga for even longer and learning more about yoga philosophy. And I'm just so grateful that I can take my experience at Rhythmia and that conversation that I had with the yoga instructor about how it's all connected, how it's all one, and that I'll actually be able to further take what I learned in Costa Rica and now apply that with my life and into my new experience. And I'm so grateful, because so many things of what I loved about Costa Rica, I'm going to get to experience at Yogaville, because the vegan food was amazing at Rythmia, and the yoga in the morning was amazing, and the meditation and the connections of the people that are so deep and so transformative. So many amazing, wonderful people between the staff and the participants and the ceremonies. It was like just so many connections made that I couldn't have asked for anything greater. And so now I'll be taking that with me into Yogaville, and maybe that will be the direction of this YouTube channel, you know? I think if that's something that this audience, you know, aligns with and wants to learn more about of my experience, I'd be more than happy to share, because, you know, I'm starting out this kind of channel with ayahuasca and my experience at Rythmia, but I think I want to continue to spread my message and share my stories and be creative in this way. So why not share more kind of these spiritual type experiences that I'm having? Because I think that they're powerful, and I think that they've provided meaning for me and purpose and fulfillment. And if it has done that for me, maybe there's somebody out there who can also kind of follow a similar journey or explore these type of modalities in their own way, and really learn and gain new experience and perspective from it. And that's the biggest thing, that was the miracle. And that's what they really talk about in Rythmia, is receiving miracles. And a miracle is as simple as a perspective shift. But I tell you what, a perspective shift is so profound, because that's how we experience our reality. We are experiencing our reality through our conscious awareness, and it's our perspective that interprets what is coming into our life, what's flowing and what's coming and going. And if you can change your perspective on things, you can have the same situation, and the whole outside world can look the same, and the physical reality. But if you can change what's inside of here, and you can experience things differently through this perspective change, life is never going to be the same. And I mean, look at me, I'm creating these videos. I've wanted to start and create a YouTube channel for the longest time, but I never I was living out of fear, and I was scared, and I didn't know what to do. And so look at that change just in itself, of me broadcasting myself and creating content now, because I went to Rythmia. This would not have happened. This would not exist right now if I had not gone down there. So yeah, just I have expressed many times a very powerful experience. I'm very thankful. And so that's why I made this video series. That's why I just wanted to get my word out there and to just kind of share this message. And so anybody that sees this and feels aligned, I definitely recommend researching and looking into to different things, whether it's plant medicine or yoga or breath work or whatever, reading a book or checking out a new podcast, whatever it is. Find that thing that gives you meaning, that helps you to kind of further learn and explore yourself, get to know who you are, self-realization, self-knowledge. It's a powerful journey, and there's a lot of lessons to be learned. And if there's one thing that I can say from my whole experience is just, it's all lessons, it's all learning, and it's all for our growth. If we can just let go of the resistance and surrender and come into this awareness, then we're just gonna be on this path of learning and evolving and just becoming the best versions of ourselves and truly living out our greatest potential. So I'm gonna leave it there. I know I feel like I got pretty pumped up, so hopefully you guys like that. And I'm just going to end this video as I've ended all of them in this series, is that if you decide to book your stay at Rythmia, I would really appreciate it so much if you mentioned my name. It's Sam Kern, and they just have this wonderful program where if 3 people mention your name at booking, I would actually be gifted a free stay. So if you feel called to do it, if it's an alignment and that's something you're willing to do, I would so appreciate it. Again, my name is Sam Kern. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video series. If you made it to the end, I'm so grateful, and I hope that you got something out of this. So again, I kind of talked about where this channel might go, but I guess you'll just have to tune in to see for yourself. All right, bye.